All right, Twitch, it is time for round 6, the final round before we cut to the top 4 teams.
Which of these teams is going to make it to the top 4?
Neither of them, because they are the only team that's playing this round. So tables 1 and 2 ID'd. They are locked for top 4.
Yep.
And then tables, let's see, 4, 5, and 6 all just dropped because they cannot make the top 4.
Yep.
This table has chosen to play it out because it can earn them buys based on points
Yep.
at the championship in December. So that's okay with me, though. I love watching more Magic, and I'll take every opportunity I can get.
Yep.
So.
We saw Jake, last round?
There was 2 rounds ago, the Temur Murkide deck.
Oh,
yeah, Jake at the bottom of your screen playing Temur Murkide. At the top of your screen, Ryan already qualified for the championship at the end of the year.
Yep.
Playing the same deck he's playing right now, Rakdos Scam. So haven't seen Ryan's list today, but last time he was playing the 4 copies of Leyline of the Void in the sideboard, and then a white splash for Wear Tear for the mirror to kill the Leyline.
I love that.
So starting things off here with a Black Cleave Cliffs and a Ragavan.
That's pretty good. Guys, you ever cast a Ragavan in turn 1?
This is a Ragavan mirror match, right?
Yeah. Ragavan v Monkey.
It's kind of an interesting matchup. You have to think that the Temur Murkide deck saw some hole in the Rakdos Scam plan.
Yeah.
To even show up in this metagame, right?
Oh, Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man.
So,
and there's the Bowmasters.
Yeah.
I have to think that this cannot be a good matchup for Temur Murkide.
No.
But once again, I have to impress upon the fact that Murkide doesn't really have any bad matchups. It's got game against basically everything in the metagame.
Yeah. The difference is that Murkide doesn't present as much early game pressure. I think that what we saw in that first game of the match that Jake was in that first time was sort of an outlier with how quick he established a board and how fast he put pressure. It feels like it's a much more metered approach.
It kind of just depends.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, both decks, right? Like it's whatever the texture of their hand is.
Right. Yeah, they're just good card decks.
Yeah.
You want your lands and spells and your little synergies and interactions and things like that. And you just want to play a game.
Yeah.
Not doing anything crazy unfair.
This is just a great start for
the
Rakdos.
the biggest thing that I see is that Temur Murkide, it has a hard time dealing with graveyard.
Do we cast this Dragon's Rage Channeler?
Potentially.
Yeah.
The Temur Murkide deck has a hard time dealing with the graveyard. So the approach that a lot of these decks will take is they will, play things like Leyline Binding. They will play things like, Soul Guide Lantern and other ways to kind of break up the scams.
Yeah.
And then they only have to deal with the front half of the elemental. Temur Murkide doesn't really have access to any of those cards.
Yeah.
They can't really afford to play them. One thing that they can do, though, is sideboard in 4 copies of Subtlety.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they can. And they lean maybe a little bit on the Spell Pierce to try to deal with the scam side of things.
Sure.
The 1 mana sort of interaction.
Right. But they would still have to deal with the front half of the
Exactly.
bolt.
It's a little bit, I don't know, it feels a little too late in a lot of those circumstances.
You have to get rid of the Bowmasters in this matchup.
Another thing is that Unholy Heat can deal with the back half. In addition to Lightning Bolt can as well.
Yeah.
Can deal with the back half of that scam, but no real way to stop the front half from happening.
Yeah. And
Outside of just countering the spell, I suppose.
Yeah, Grief is just going to get... If you let the first copy come through, it's going to take out the thing that can deal with the back half.
Yeah.
And then you're just...
So Lightning Bolt takes care of the Bowmasters. Then we have a Dauthi Voidwalker and the Dragon's Rage Channeler from the top of Jake's library entering the fray.
Yeah, this is not good for Jake. That Voidwalker is just...
This game is going to be over very quickly.
Yeah.
There's so much pressure.
No real way to deal with all of these things at once.
Yeah, there's no real catch-up mechanic, in Murkide.
A bobble. So this is a 2-turn clock.
I have seen
Murkide
decks have Fury, which is something that would be pretty okay here. Ryan is not delirious right now, so he could potentially get the Army Token, the Dragon's Rage Channeler, and the Ragavan, or he could just do like the Ragavan and the Dathi Voidwalker. I don't know that Jake is playing the Furies, though.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them.
Something else that I've seen out of these Murktide decks is Brotherhood's End.
Oh, yeah.
It's mostly out of the sideboard,
Right.
but it would take care of this problem.
Yeah. Pyroclasm, good. Against a bunch of, like, 2 toughness creatures.
Yeah.
It also has a lot of utility against, like, the artifact and token heavy decks.
So Ryan is just heading straight to combat
Yeah,
here.
why not?
All 4 of these creatures are getting into the red zone.
It's 7 damage. Gonna take him to 2. And Ryan plays some amount of lightning bolts.
Lightning Bolt gonna get pointed at Dathi Voidwalker.
So do we have an undying effect here?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
4 cards now exiled with shadow counters on them.
Oh.
Jake is gonna take, let's see, 3, 4 here. Go
Yeah.
down to 5. Spell Snare gets exiled to Ragavan. Gonna use up a treasure token here as a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and Jake has seen enough. That'll do it for game 1. These players are gonna sideboard, and we'll be right back with game 2.
BRB.
All right, these players are getting shuffled up for game number 2. Stefan, tell me what Jake did with the sideboard.
Jake, before remarking to me, that was fun.
Scam do be like that
Yeah,
sometimes.
I believe that was my response. Scam do be like that. He took out all 4 copies of his Ragavans.
Okay.
I don't think they're doing as much in this matchup.
Right.
And took out a single copy of Force of Negation. Brought in 2 copies of Fury, like we kind of talked about.
Yep.
2 copies of Stern Scolding and a Subtlety.
Okay,
said
Stern
it
Scolding is another great answer
Yeah.
that deals with both halves of the scam stuff.
Yeah.
Ryan did some pretty hefty sideboarding, shifting over to a little bit more of a mid-range plan, cutting 1 copy of Blood Moon, 1 Thoughtseeds, 1 Undying Evil, 3 Ragavans.
Wow.
Brought in 3 copies of Leyline of the Void,
And there's one.
a Sheoldred the Apocalypse, and 2 copies of Phyrexian Crusader.
Wow.
Yeah.
Murktide gonna have a hard time killing that guy.
Yeah.
As you see, players have already got started. Ryan with a Leyline of the Void in play. Turn 1, Jake has a Spire Bluff Canal and a Dragon's Rage
Are we just doing this?
Chandler.
Are we just doing this right now?
Here is a Grief.
In front of God and everyone.
Reveal a Spire Bluff Canal, a Questing Druid, Murktide Regent, Counterspell, and Spell Snare. It looks like Ryan is going to take the Questing Druid, and this Grief will be on its way back because it is not dead after all.
So we just take the counterspell.
I think he pointed to the Murktide. Nope, it looks like it is going to be the Counterspell.
Yeah. Well, they're getting exiled. Murktide is not even close to being cast. He has a Leyline of the
They
Void.
get discarded, actually.
But they get exiled from
The
Leyline
Leyline,
of the Void.
yeah.
Oh, goodbye, cards. Sorry about your 8 mana 3/3.
Yeah,
He's more than happy to let him have that.
Yeah.
So
He does have Terminate in his deck.
if
as
the
we see.
Murktide is in play, and Jake discards a card for whatever reason, does that trigger the Murktide? Is Leyline a replacement effect or a
It is a
trigger?
replacement effect. It doesn't actually get exiled from the
Okay,
graveyard.
so this would not trigger Murktide.
Correct.
Correct.
Let me double check that.
That's unfortunate. As we head back over to Jake in just a second here, he's going to have to do some work to crawl his way back into this game. That was a back-breaking double grief.
Yeah, if it would be put into anywhere from an opponent's graveyard,
Okay, so it is a
exile
replacement
instead.
effect.
It is a replacement.
So it
effect.
does not trigger the Murktide
Yeah.
Regent. Jake just showing off the contents of his hand one more time. It's a
Yeah.
Spire Bluff Canal, a Murktide Regent, and a Spell Snare.
I don't think that this Dragon's Rage Channeler is going to hit Delirium. Just
It seems unlikely.
unlikely.
You know?
Yeah.
It will block this grief, though. Jake's
It can't actually.
Jake
Yeah.
fears not.
It has
That
Menace.
Grief is
He
Menashe,
attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Grief
Yeah.
does have
They
Menashe.
gave these powerhouse creatures keywords.
Grief in the red zone. Jake down to 16.
This is sort of like the bonkers opener that Rakdos can have. It deployed 4 of its cards turn 1.
5.
5, sorry. Apologies.
What is this? Is it a fatal push?
He's spell snaring it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a push.
Though it's not a fatal push if he's spell snaring it. What is that 2-mana card, Jay? The 2-mana card that Rakdos just cast.
It's a. I don't know.
It's a borderless card.
It looks to me like it's just
Might be a
fetch
Terminate?
land. It's just a fetch
I don't
land.
think it's a Terminate at all. Spell snare does take care of it though, whatever it is. Back on
Yeah.
Jake's turn.
Attacking for a single point of damage.
Rage channel,
Fighting
we're
the
back
good
in red
fight.
Zone. Back
Jake,
over to Ryan.
Jake doing God's work.
4 damage coming across. Jake down to 12. Ryan's gonna fetch up a land.
Just Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. Do we Fable? It's got access to all 3 colors now. Got a Blood Crypt.
Godless Shrine and a Swamp.
Yeah.
I don't know. He doesn't have. Yeah, he did not bring in the white cards, so doesn't actually need that white mana at all.
Just in case. Listen, sometimes you don't know you need it until you need it.
And it is a Fable
Yeah.
of Mirror Breaker.
This is the...
And it looks like
He's countering
that
it.
is going to get met with a counter spell.
What?
We will head back over to Jake. Jake's got a Preordain.
Just
Gonna
exile that.
Surveil 1 and scry 2 lands to the bottom, I would imagine.
Oh my god. His deck just abusing him.
Drawing. He only needs one removal spell to take care of this grief. That's all he needs. He needs Bolt. Unholy Heat not going to do it, unfortunately. It's going to be a
Evoking
Fury,
a Fury.
and that's going to take care of that. DRC doing its best flying man impression.
If Jake can come back from this opener, I will be utterly impressed.
There's a
Dothy
Voidwalker.
Voidwalker
And
and
a
a
lightning
lightning bolt to take care of the DRC. It's going to get a shadow counter on it. Here's a bolt to take care of the Dothy Voidwalker.
That lightning bolt should be under the... Yeah, there you go.
And here is a Phyrexian Crusader. So
Well,
this is one of the cards that
that's
he
game.
sideboarded in.
Yeah.
I don't think the Temur Murkide deck has a way to kill this. So it is a 2/2 first strike infect.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
protection from white and red. So Jake is going to get 2 poison counters, and he is 4 turns away from...
Is it white and
being
red or red
dead.
and green?
White and red.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I think it's red and green.
I
Or
thought it was
white
red
and
and-
green. Hang on, we're looking this up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's white-red.
Jeez.
Crusader. Attacking. Jake, up to 4 poison counters.
Oh my gosh. This is... There's a...
red and
So,
white, yep.
so there's a term colloquially that we use here.
Here is a Questing Druid that's going to exile a Spell Pierce and a Expressive Iteration. Jake will draw a card.
Where if a player is getting totally steamrolled,
Here is a Polluted Delta.
we like to call it punching a baby.
Yeah. The
And-
polluted delta is important. It gets
Yeah.
a screen source for this druid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which can block the Crusader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not something that I had considered. The Phyrexian Crusader, of course, for the mirror match.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it also has applications here.
I think that Crusader is very good against the bean stacks.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
They can't kill it at all because all of their removal is either white or red.
Yeah.
You're right.
And it doesn't care about your life total. It just gets in there. Has first
Yeah,
strike.
gain all the life you want.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you with Infect anyway.
It's sort of a really heads up inclusion in
Back over to
sideboard.
Jake here. He's going to untap and draw a card.
He's at 6 poison counters,
Yes.
so two more attacks.
So 2 mana for the Questing Druid. Here is another 2 mana for the
Ugh, and
Expressive
we got the
Iteration.
Orcish Bowmaster.
Well, the Orcish Bowmaster doesn't do anything here because the Expressive Iteration does not draw cards.
No, but it kills the...
With the 1/1 counter on the stack. For
Oh,
the druid.
okay,
Yeah.
sure. It kills the Questing Druid,
Yeah.
which is the important thing that happens. So Expressive Iteration going to resolve now. I see a DRC, a Subtlety, which he really could have used this turn,
Yeah.
and a land. So I don't know that Murktide will be able to get out of this outside of maybe another copy of drawing another copy of Fury.
Well, Subtlety, again, can block the Crusader.
Yeah.
So he kept the
Sure.
Subtlety in his hand. So he's trying to buy himself some time.
Yeah.
Also in hand from Jake, I saw. Well, now I'm not sure because I can't see it anymore. He had his hand there for a second.
This is...
Ryan fetching on the end step here. It's a Blood Crypt into play tapped. pass back over his way. He's got no cards in hand. Hellbent as a Rakdos mage does.
It's a Douthie Voidwalker in hand.
Is 4 damage coming across. 2 poison counters, 2 regular.
He's got him dead on board 2 ways.
Follow it up with a Douthie Voidwalker.
It's a double dead.
The best kind of dead.
The best kind of dead.
Yeah.
You want a double dead for a double dose of dead. Can you tell it's getting a little late in the day? Kind of losing our
You
minds.
are a weakling. Here is a lightning bolt to take care of the Douthie Voidwalker.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I think you're strong like bull.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody believes in me. It's not my parents, that's
Fetch
for sure.
land is
As far as I can tell, you're the high roll in your family.
Thanks.
subtlety going to get flashed in to block this Phyrexian Crusader.
I'm covered in tattoos. Nobody approves of what I do.
Yeah, this poor subtlety can't even really kill this Phyrexian Crusader.
No.
This, in fact, drops it to a 1/1. And then,
Yeah.
It's got first strike?
Yeah.
It's
It does buy a little time.
It's full
but-
chump.
First strike and infect. What a weird combo.
So hit it, make it a 1/1. It dies.
No, it doesn't die.
It dies.
It's
It gets 2 -1/-1
to
counters.
stick around.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It gets 1 more chump.
It doesn't have double
You
strike.
can almost hardcast this Murkide in hand. That's it. Ryan is going to take this one down 2-0.
Wow.
So, that is it for the Swiss.
Now we just got.
Now it's time for the top 4.
Okay, what do we got?
I have no
Oh, yeah,
idea.
we haven't checked it yet.
I have no idea what's in the top 4.
I imagine teams that are 4-1-1.
Well, I believe the Amulet Titan deck made it in.
That seems pretty likely.
He won both of
Yeah.
his camera matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the Amulet Titan deck made
He's
it
running
in.
hot today.
I think. Let's see. What else was at the top tables? I believe.
We did see Scales on camera
The-
twice.
yeah,
He
I
did
believe this-
lose
Their,
twice,
their
but-
team won that match though.
Okay.
I believe the Scales players locked.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean you do it every time. I don't know why you would
Little stream
expect
exception
anything.
there.
I turned my
different.
volume all the way off.
No, you don't, because every time you turn the
I
stream back
did.
on your phone, it's on.
Stop bullying me. Do you hear this, chat?
All right, folks. We'll be back with the semifinals in just a little bit.
Love you.